Delvon Digital here, and I want to give a big shout out to Hava Editing for doing this video. So I hope you enjoy it. Kick back and let's get right to it. Peace. Hey, Delvon Digital here, and we're here to talk about that Pixel 6 Pro. So it's been over 1 year and some change with the Pixel 6 Pro. Has Google really fixed the problems of this phone? Let's go inside it and let's find out. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about that price. Right now, the Pixel 6 Pro can be had for somewhere between $270 all the way up to $300 and about $60. And you can find that on eBay, Amazon, and Swapper right now. There's some really good deals on this phone, and I suggest that if you're trying to get into the Pixel ecosystem, or at least try your first Pixel, it's worth trying this phone out at that price tag. Let's talk about that Pixel performance. Has the performance degraded? Is it bad? Is it good? Well, I can safely say that Tensor has held up pretty good over the year. This is Google's first chip into their own chip, new thing that got going on here. And I think that they pretty much nailed the experience of this chip pretty well. It does have its issues and it has its problems, but they did a really good job for it to be a first gen chip. And I can see like the future of this chip and the future of their phones getting so much better over time. The more that they learn how to actually build on top of this chip and everything else. And it's been phenomenal. I had no problem with the apps. I had no problem with gaming. I had no problem with the battery life on it. And everything's just been pretty solid using this phone. And it's been very enjoyable to use. The fluidity is incredible. It's probably like one of the fastest phones on the market that you can get, that's just so smooth with great haptics and everything else. So performance has been pretty good. While we're talking about performance, we might as well jump on that battery life, because that's part of the whole entire performance thing as well. How's the battery performing? And I would say it's solid. It's been giving me somewhere between 6 to 7 hours. And again, battery life is a touchy subject because everyone uses their phone differently. Everyone uses different apps. Everyone's signal is not the same everywhere we travel. 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi, no Wi-Fi, no 4G, no 5G. It's a sensitive situation to really talk about how good the battery life is on this device until you actually used it for yourself and see if it works for you, because we're not installing it. We're not using the same apps. We're not on the phone at the same time of the day. We're not on the phone on the same time of the night. So things can always be different for each user. So for me, and I'm giving you my experience, it has been pretty solid. The time that I take it off the charger all the way, through a work day and coming home in the house where I can charge it, I've come home with a lot of extra juice, like over 50% sometimes, and sometimes a little bit under that, but never at a point where I feel like I had to run and chase myself, chase for a charger or run down a charger somewhere or whatever. But it's never been that situation. But I will admit that I am a person, if I'm stationary somewhere for a while, like when I'm at work, I would just throw my phone on my desk or my wireless charger and just call it a day and just sit there and work all day long. So I really don't care about the battery too much on any of these devices I use, because I will charge them whenever I can charge them. I really don't care. I normally update to the next phone next year, so I'm not worrying about if I'm killing the battery or hurting the battery or anything. So it doesn't really matter. But I can tell you right now that battery has been solid, and it's been over a year now. The other thing I want to talk about is one of the great reasons of buying a Pixel is that software support, that first in line. Google has been doing a really good job with their security patches and their updates. Granted, there has been issues where the patch was like bad and they pulled it, and I really wish they'd be a little bit more transparent in talking to us about it and letting us know why they pulled it, even though we always find out eventually why they pulled the update in the first place. But I wish they would just open up their own mouths and let us know, so we can just be like, oh, okay, thank you. Appreciate you, Google, for letting us know why you pulled this update and why I didn't, and some people got it. Because, we don't want an update that's going to hurt our phone or cause the battery to be bad. So it's okay if they pull it, but just let us know why you're pulling it and what the reason is for, because some of us aren't on Twitter and aren't on social media and know these things. Maybe, I don't know, send a notification or something. I just communicate better as far as why these updates are being pulled and stuff like that. But just say that in a perfect world that we don't have bad updates, yeah, with the Pixel, you're gonna get first in line updates. You're gonna get the first OSs. You're gonna get launch when they launch. You're gonna get updates monthly and stuff like that. So you're gonna get the best of the best. You're gonna get feature drops and all of that. So owning the Pixel is great because of that. So 90% of the time, that's what's really happening. Besides a bad update here and there, but you're gonna be first in line for feature drops and software updates. So it's been great, and they've been doing a good job supporting this phone. So if you get a Pixel 6 Pro, you can expect good support. One of the other things I do want to talk about is that fingerprint reader on this device. Overall, the software updates that they sent to this device, it has improved, but is it that good? Not really. It's still one of those fingerprints that I have to kind of like think about when I'm about to unlock my phone. Thank goodness on the 7 series is a non-existing thing that I have to do. I just unlock my phone. But on the Pixel 6 Pro, I still kind of find myself thinking about unlocking it when I'm unlocking it. But I would say that Google has did a really good job in improving it, but it's just quite not there. And it's just because of the hardware. It's not going to get any better than what it is. They should just go ahead and add Face Unlock up here and just call it a day. I know it can do it. It's just using a base camera in the first place, but it would be great if they did that one day in a feature drop. But until then, the fingerprint reader is still what it is. So yeah. Now, everything is not good under the sun with this Pixel. We know that this Pixel 6 Pro has launched with hella bugs in the beginning when it first launched, and we know that Google took a long time to fix a lot of these bugs. It got so bad for some people that they just gave up on the phone and returned it, and then they never came back to it, and they just had a bad experience and just didn't care anymore. And then there are ones that stuck around and just hung around a little bit longer. Google slowly improved their experience and it gotten better. And at this point, I can say that Google has really done a great job of ironing out all the bugs on the Pixel 6 Pro series, well, Pixel 6 series, and it's a much better experience than it was at launch. So it's kind of safe to kind of pick up this phone now. A lot of people say that Google phones age like fine wine, and I have to say that is 100% true. They do a better job in the long run with these phones, though they should give you a great experience out of the box. There's no reason that you buy a phone and then you're having all these bugs and issues and stuff like that. But I kind of blame that on Tensor and Google not being able to configure it or optimize it good enough, because it was something that was new for them and new for us. And as far as the experience of Tensor, it was new for everyone. And they got a lot to handle right now, and they got a lot to do to get this chip well optimized. I think the version 2 of this Tensor has been pretty good. So I see that they are making the improvements as they go. So I can see a good future for the Tensor chips. So, before we throw them away, let's just give them a chance. This is it. We're on Gen 2 right now. Gen 1 was bad. Gen 1 of everything, every product has probably been bad at some point, because it's always like that prototype product to hit the market. But as long as we see improvement, that should matter the most. And one of the other biggest reasons to buy a Pixel is for that camera experience. Of all the rumors and all the stuff that you hear about the Pixel camera, it is true. And when you use it, you will understand why everyone is so hyped around the Pixel camera. It is really that good, but it is a camera. It can fail you. It can take bad photos, but 90% of the time, or 99% of the time, you're going to get a great image out of this device. I've taken this phone and I used it for professional work, not saying a paid client, but I had a paid client that I was taking pictures of with my camera. And then I decided to ask them, hey, can I use my Pixel to take a few pictures of this session? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I took professional pictures and I edited them. And I'm like, wow, I was so mind blown out of the images that come out of here and how well I can edit them to really make them look like as if it didn't come from a cell phone. And people have been blown away by a lot of the images that I've taken on this Pixel, and I feel like you can use it to its full ability and get some really good images out of it if you really know what you're doing. But if you're not one of those people like me that is a photographer, point and shoot would be just fine, because it is a point and shoot monster, and you could just point, click, and keep on moving, and you can just trust that you're going to get a good image almost 99% of the time. And those few times that you don't, just take another picture. But the camera, A1. So on my closing notes, I want to say that the Pixel 6 Pro, with the price, the performance, with the camera and everything that you get in this total package, the AI features that they present that I didn't even talk about in this video, but you know, it's been over a year, so we should know exactly what to expect as far as the AI features. You're getting a really good deal. So if you're somebody who's thinking about grabbing a Pixel, you know, in 2023, and you don't have a budget for the new Pixels right now that's out on the market, you would be more than happy with a Pixel 6 series, whether it's the Pro or the 6. There's no other phone that can beat it at that price point. I mean, we have the 6A that's like $200 something, but if you add a few more bucks, you can get the Pro model, you can get the telephoto lens, you can get the bigger screen, the refresh rate and everything else, if the size doesn't bother you. But other than that, I just want to say that this phone is great. And if you're on the fence of buying one, you should definitely try it out. Anyways, this is Delvon Digital, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.